Hola, ¿qué tal? Primero que nada, les quiero dar la bienvenida a todas las personas que nos acompañan el día de hoy en este webinar número 11, organizado por IURC Latin America. Mi nombre es Jorge Leonel Rivas, soy oficial de proyectos del programa IURC y es un agrado poder acompañarlos en esta ocasión para conversar sobre un tema muy interesante. Para los que no se encuentren familiarizados con el programa, IURC tiene como principal objetivo el intercambio de buenas prácticas entre ciudades, regiones y están relacionados al desarrollo urbano e innovación regional. Actualmente en el programa se encuentran cooperando 24 ciudades y 20 regiones de Latinoamérica y Europa. Por favor, siéntanse libres de compartirnos en el chat que están viendo debajo de su pantalla su nombre y desde qué parte nos acompañan el día de hoy. Para su información, contamos con interpretación simultánea en español, inglés y portugués. Y también pueden activarlo en el icono que les aparece abajo en las opciones. Bien, el objetivo de este webinar es principalmente conversar sobre la economía azul y viéndolo como una gran oportunidad para generar grandes beneficios sociales, impulsar el dinamismo local en todas sus aristas y mejorar las condiciones medioambientales en ciudades costeras. Actualmente, la situación global requiere de soluciones de largo plazo donde se involucren todos los actores clave para poder generar un tipo de desarrollo sustentable que ponga en valor los recursos naturales y diseñar estrategias para obtener aprendizajes que inspiren a otras nuevas soluciones con grandes impactos positivos. Estas soluciones deben considerar los elementos necesarios para que haya al mismo tiempo crecimiento económico, beneficios para los habitantes y sostenibilidad en las actividades productivas en el agua o en los bordes costeros. Por ejemplo, en el uso de recursos marítimos en el sector industrial, la extracción y uso de productos del mar, la generación de fuentes de energía renovables y no renovables, el transporte marítimo y el comercio portuario, por supuesto, actividades turísticas y el dinamismo inmobiliario que se genera sobre los bordes costeros, solo por mencionar algunos. Para profundizar sobre este tema, el día de hoy tendremos a 3 panelistas que nos compartirán sus experiencias locales desde la ciudad de Piraeus en Grecia, Barranquilla, Colombia y Génova en Italia. Antes de iniciar, quisiera comentarles que al terminar las presentaciones tendremos alrededor de 20 minutos de conversación donde podremos hacer comentarios y responder alguna de sus preguntas. Por eso les pedimos que vayan dejando en la caja de Q&A debajo de su pantalla aquellas preguntas o inquietudes que se les desprendan de cada una de las presentaciones. Les recuerdo nuevamente que está disponible la traducción simultánea en español, inglés y portugués y que lo pueden activar debajo de su pantalla. Bien, para partir, me gustaría presentar a Olivia Zaina, que nos hará una presentación que se llama Genova Blue District, desde la ciudad de Génova, y me gustaría hacer una introducción de ella. Ha formado parte durante casi 4 años en el Departamento de Proyectos de Desarrollo Económico e Innovación de la Municipalidad de Génova. Cuenta con una maestría en Ciencias Interculturales, así como especializaciones en Transformación Social y Derechos Humanos. Actualmente trabaja en la Oficina de Proyectos Innovadores y Desarrollo Local, enfocada principalmente en la gestión y presentación de informes de proyectos financiados por el European Structural and Investment Funds. Bien, Olivia, el espacio es todo tuyo, puedes comenzar.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon for us here. I want, first of all, to thank you for the opportunity you gave me to be here and to share with you an experience that the Municipality of Genoa started almost 3.5 years ago. No, sorry, 2.5 at the end of 2020. Something that we consider very innovative, and something that I say it's really online with what you presented now. A very important focus on sustainability, on the opportunities that the blue economy give to the city. You know, Genoa is a coastal city with a very important port, a big port. And now I'm going to present in detail the experience that we have in Genova Blue District. Just a moment. Just a minute, because I can't find any. It was working when we tried, but now, okay, here it is. I'm sorry, here it is. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so as you said before, we work in the framework of the Economic Development and Innovation Projects Department for the Municipality of Genoa. This is the building. I wanted to start showing you what we are talking about. It's an ancient building which was built in the second half of the 16th century. And originally it was a grain warehouse. So we consider a kind of symbol. So in the same way, this building was used by the Republic of Genoa to feed people, above all when there was a famine period. In the same way, we consider now Genova Blue District as a way, as an instrument to collect ideas that can nurture and support further entrepreneurial activity. Our motto is one place, many ideas, and more innovation. The symbol is also in the location, because it's very close both to the city center and to the port. It's not easy to find here in the city a building like this one in the middle of these two realities. As you know, maybe sometimes the ports are very far away from the city center. It's not the case of Genoa. So trying to find a good place in the middle was a winning choice. Which is the main goal of this project, is the one to create an innovative system, ecosystem better, which is at the city's disposal. So this goal is reached in two different ways. On the one hand, trying to create and innovate the enterprises working in the blue economy field. On the other hand, by promoting an entrepreneurial culture. I will say more and more times during my presentation the fact that this is a physical space and this is a virtual space. The one that you can see here, it's the physical space, because it's there are many different organizations that work inside the building, that choose to work here, to establish their work here. But on the other hand, we have a virtual space, a community. So here it's more or less the shape that the building has. You can see there are many different activities running inside the building, dedicated to different activities. This is the ecosystem. I want to underline that the Municipality of Genoa is the promoting authority, but how we manage the Blue District with the managing company, which is a subsidiary company of the municipality, so it's very close to us. We have a very close partnership with all the staff working there. Financially, we had some funds from two different bank foundations that you can read here, and others coming from sponsorships. The partners you can see, University of Genoa, first of all, National Research Council, which is absolutely important, together with the Italian Institute of Technology for all the part concerning research and development activities. I will say just a word about, you can see START 4.0, which is a public-private partnership. Very interesting. They are funded by the Economic Development Ministry, and it's a very important collaboration for us because they have a very important role in technology development. Okay, we are coming now to the virtual space. The virtual space is the community. So the community of the Blue Economy innovators. We try to build a group of different stakeholders working in very different fields and with different backgrounds, but each for his role, each for his competencies or for their expectations, working together for the same goal. And which is the goal? The goal is all you can see here. So to create connections in the blue world, to support businesses, to participate in sharing activities, technology transfer processes, networking, absolutely important, to create cross-contamination, to participate in initiatives and events in the field of blue economy again. And I will tell you something more specific later about this topic. Meeting with investors, and in this process a very important role is played by our managing authority, which has a huge experience in these fields, working with the startup and other enterprises, meeting with investor, and recruitment and onboarding meetings. Now I'm going to show you that at the moment we have 69 partners, so stakeholders working around, we can say, working around the Genova Blue District. As I said before, you can easily check that we have a very different kind of public. So we have, for example, enterprises, cooperatives, startup, public entities also, and associations. So a very different range of institutions and organizations. This is a timeline, so where we started and when we are going. We started, as I said before, in November 2020 with the inauguration of this building, and then during these 2 full years, 2021 and 22, we developed a really varied kind of events and initiatives. You can see here some of them. I will present better shortly some of them. The Hackathon Blue, it was the first one, and then innovation workshops, Blue New Deal, Blue Economy Summit, and so on. I will say better in a few moments. Where we are going now? We are going to 2023, which is a very important year for the municipality and for the city, because we are going to host the final leg of the ocean race, which is a very, very important sporting event that will arrive here at the end of June, and an event that we are really preparing with a lot of effort. And it will be a good opportunity for the Genova Blue District to talk about the blue economy, about the sustainability, about the innovation in this field. So the opening, as I said before, the hackathon. What was the hackathon? It was a kind of contest trying to involve different audiences, citizens, groups of students, stakeholders that try to manage new ideas in the themes that you can read, so environment, sustainability, well-being, leisure, and sports. The focus was the sea as a resource. So we had a very good response, 29 projects presented. There were 3 winners that get not a very big sum, around 7,000 euro each, to realize their ideas, to start realizing their ideas. Then we have during 2021 innovation workshops, and there was a call for proposal that was specifically addressed to researchers, startups, and associations. And the aim was to organize some specific workshop on blue economy. And the target was represented mainly by students, young people, students coming from high school and also from the university. So also this one had a very good response. So we have around 250 students engaged in the city, and many projects that we received from the participants. Then we had the Blue New Deal, which was a call for the implementation of 2 projects, trying to link 2 different areas, the area of volunteering and the area of the research world. So there were specific actions that some volunteers tried to realize. So, for example, cleaning coastal areas or something like that. So also this one, it was very interesting in terms of participants. Workshops, I won't say much more on this. Blue Skills. This was partnership between the University of Genoa and the Academy of the Merchant Navy that we have here in Genoa, trying to present those professions in the blue field, to present the careers, the potential of employment in the field of blue economy. Now, something about the ocean race. As I said before, the final event will be at the end of June of this year, but the preparation started in 2021 with an event that allowed us to interact with innovative startups in the field. We will have, as I said, something more in the next slides. Yearly, we have here in Genoa the boat show. And this year and also last year, we had the opportunity to organize some events of awareness raising and dissemination, collaborating also with some important stakeholders as the region, as this is General Confederation of Italian Marine Industry, and so on. Other events, Blue Economy Summit, Blue Street, just some brief details on this. It was a meeting with the public debates and a shared, how can I say, way of presenting the event. So there were some conferences, but also some events in the squares, trying to bring out of the institutional framework the debate, the public debate on sustainability, on innovation, on resources coming from the sea and the coastal areas. It was an innovative approach that obtained quite a good interest also from the media, and we are trying to further develop in the editions that we are proposing now. An open day, trying to involve the citizenship. C-City, briefly, it's a project funded by the structural funds, based on the exchange of best practices and services among enterprises about circular economy and sustainable development. There is also a desk called Circular Desk, managed by the same organization that manages the Genova Blue District. And here is the connection point, because C-City is not focused only on the blue economy, it's also green economy, but the managing authority is the same. So it's exactly in the same building of the Genova Blue District, the boat show. And what we are preparing now, this is one of the main activities that we are carrying on in this period, towards the ocean race. So there are three main activities. One concerns dissemination, and this blue vision. So blue vision, it involves three different themes, topics: water, energy, material, sustainable tourism, and sport. And there are many podcasts available. Until now, we have 13 podcasts published to raise awareness. Then we have the call for innovation. It's already closed. We received 46 proposals. It's written here 5, honestly, it's 6 funded projects coming from startups, and they propose very innovative solutions. You can find the description of these 6 projects on the website of Genova Blue District. There's a section about this call for innovation. If you want, you can check, and they are really, really interesting. And these 6 projects will have a special space inside the Innovation Village. What is it, Innovation Village? So for the final event of the ocean race, as you can see here, it's from the 24th of June to the 2nd of July. We have a pavilion, and inside the pavilion, we will have this space dedicated to the Genova Blue District, where we will host for all the days. We will host the 6 startups that participate in this call. And were funded also. And moreover, we will have workshop, we will have events, meetings, trying to speak about blue economy, trying to how can I say, to work together with the focus of the event. The event is not only a sporting event, it's also an initiative that has a sustainable approach. There's a big attention paid to sustainability. For example, the boats participating in the race, they have some tools on board that measure the ocean's health. So this is why also all the events during the legs of the race must comply with the series of rules concerning the sustainable management of the event. So this is the main approach that we have. shortly, and then I will finish. This is the involvement of the audience through the social media of the channels of the Genova Blue District. We are growing, growing. So we are also happy to be present also there. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias, Cristina. Tu presentación ha sido muy interesante y ha sido muy interesante porque nos permitió conocer las iniciativas que está impulsando la Municipalidad de Génova a través de este Distrito Azul y principalmente por el rol articulador que tiene entre la cadena del suministro marítimo, tecnológico, negocios, turismo y la ciudad en general de Génova. En mi opinión, es una gran oportunidad para seguir dinamizando y diversificando estos procesos locales en términos económicos, medioambientales, culturales. Muchas gracias por tu presentación. Para continuar con nuestra segunda presentación, le damos la bienvenida a Cristina Matos, desde la ciudad de Barranquilla, Colombia, que nos compartirá su presentación denominada El Gran Malecón, el nuevo paradigma de conexión entre Barranquilla y su río. Ella es comunicadora social, cuenta con un máster en Administración de Artes Escénicas y es la jefa de experiencia de ciudad de la empresa Puerta de Oro. Esta área de experiencia de ciudad se enfoca en establecer relaciones entre ciudadanos y espacios urbanos a través de la activación y apropiación colectiva. Su equipo se encarga de operar, administrar y activar el Gran Malecón de Barranquilla, el cual es uno de los principales atractivos de la ciudad y eje transformador que ha marcado el regreso de la ciudad al río Magdalena. La palabra es tuya, Cristina.
Okay, I'm going to speak in English. So good morning and good afternoon for some. We are, and it's such a pleasure to be here with you, and on behalf of Puerta de Oro and the city of Barranquilla, we would like to thank everyone for your time and also your interest in getting to know the story behind Gran Malecón, which is a story, as Jorge said, a paradigm shift throughout history, and our relation and a particular interaction from our behalf towards the blue economy. Let me know if you can see the screen. A few ground information on Barranquilla. It is located in the Caribbean region of Colombia. It's one of the most important 4 cities of Colombia with an estimate of 1.3 million inhabitants. And why is it so strategic to the blue economy? Because it actually meets a strategic point of encounter between the Magdalena River, which is the most important river of Colombia, with more than 900 miles from Huila, which is a south department, arriving up until the direct encounter to the Caribbean Sea. So we are involved in 2 main bodies of water, and our interaction towards the Magdalena River has been from the beginnings of the city, beginning mostly in the 19th century with a very port active activity for the economy of the country. But from time of the 20th century, people lost this visibility and connection to the Magdalena River. It still had an important port activity, economic activity, and navigability, but people lost a view of the river towards the time. And the Gran Malecón actually got to rescue through this project from Barranquilla this long lost view and connection to its river. So this is Gran Malecón today. It's located in the west bank of the city. It's a public park in over 5 kilometers. And it is definitely an example and the most recognized ambitious project of urban renovation and public space transformation for the city. But as you can see this image, this seems like today is really active. It's full of citizens, But you might think that this has been like a traditional and a maybe like a dynamic that we have been used to. But the reality is that a few years back, this is actually where Gran Malecón was located. This is actually the industrial backyard of many companies, with just a single connection of a very important road. But at least from my generation, we didn't get to see the Magdalena River. We knew that it existed somehow, very connected to the river. We knew that our city was a port activity city, but we never had a direct connection with the Magdalena River because of this. This was the way that it was distributed. And as a result of rehabilitating more than 18 acres of the city's riverfront, this is what we managed today from the city of Barranquilla to distribute a park full of amenities, sport amenities, leisure amenities, economy offers, and recreational spaces, green spaces, all offered for the city to have this long lost connection to its river. Also, enabling different access in a parallel road through this same west bank that is called Avenida del Río, with some 4 commercial access that can also allow people from different neighborhoods along the city of Barranquilla to enter the Gran Malecón. So it's not far, it's strategic still because it's all parallel to the city. But we have seen many images of the great infrastructure of the project and how ambitious it was. But this is the true effect of our blue economy version and experience. And in this picture that is from 2018, this is actually the arrival of the flagship of Colombia, Buque Gloria, which is a very important ship ambassador that travels throughout different countries, visiting different waterfronts and different ports. And for the first time in 2018, people and citizens got to see the arrival of Buque Gloria to the dock of the first part of the Gran Malecón, something that people wasn't used to do as a daily activity, as a special activity, the opportunity to visit a ship just right there in the city. And what you see there, it's more than 100,000 visitors waiting to get in the Buque Gloria. That is what we call the experience as a paradigm shift, because it's a blue economy effect on the relation between citizens and the response, of course, in the effect. Another result is that from 2017, we have had more than 23 million visitors, not only tourists and people that come for the first time to Barranquilla, but citizens from all ages that actually find an activity to do in Gran Malecón on a daily basis, from sunrise to night shift. What has been a strategic point and formula for the Gran Malecón is that it has been delivered through different construction phases. This means that in 2017, it was delivered 300 meters of the first part of Gran Malecón that people visited. It was more to contemplate the Magdalena River. It had a few paths to walk around, and it had an outdoor theater. But in 2018, in a response of co-creation and listening to the needs of the citizens and the public that visited Gran Malecón, it offered about 800 meters more, and it destined a food market, some vendors for food offering, and also more paths, but also a bike lane that was requested in the process of co-creation. Then in 2019, it was delivered 1.5 kilometers more of Gran Malecón. So it kept growing through phases, and it kept receiving visitors without having to wait for the project to be fully complete. 2019 delivered a much more enriched amenity site of park with football courts, basketball courts, connection in different levels to the river, but also barbecue zones, dog park, and other food courts to enjoy. And lastly, in 2020, it was delivered the last connection of this parallel road that allowed a true connection strategic point from the north to the south of the city. Of course, this is not the same without telling you from the perspective points of citizens that spaces for us are not the same without the interaction of humans. So you can see here the effect of an outdoor theater and a local talent of a small girl presenting in front of hundreds of people, a kid enjoying a raspao, which is a typical beverage here, and the dock that represented the first boats that started sailing from here, from the river, to do boat tourism and tourism on the river, a bike lane, the very first food market here in Gran Malecón, and a place that became very important for our cultural identity, as well as the following phase of leisure, sector recreo deportivo, with water parks, a dog park that was requested in the process of co-creation, and also the places to play football, basketball, and following this really nice connection to a folding bridge, the most important folding bridge of Colombia, and a connection to the road to a new attractive touristic spot in Barranquilla. This has led to a very important result. Since Gran Malecón was contemplated in the land planning almost since 2008 with the main goal of returning the view and the connection to the Magdalena River, the result of this dynamic has been not only designed recognition in international ways towards the architecture behind the very well thought design of Gran Malecón. It's even inspired in the transition between this gray area of city, of urban growth, and it slowly transitions throughout the floors of the Gran Malecón through the paths and turns into a lighter tone that represents nature. Also, Gran Malecón has a very important design attribute, is that wherever you are, you're always going to have a viewpoint from the river, but also from the skyline of the city, which was also a viewpoint that citizens were not used to have, like to extracting the city and the skyline of the city and being allowed to see it while you jog, while you eat something delicious with your family, while you have a beer, for example. And this goes beyond a really good high quality infrastructure, because it results in this recognitions through TripAdvisor, for example, that we have received in a very organic way. Year through year, it keeps getting more recognized up until the top as the very first activity, like a very first must-do activity in Barranquilla for anyone that visits the city. Not only that, but from Puerta de Oro as a decentralized entity, synergy for us is absolutely key in terms of governance, experience, hospitality, but also sustainability. This means that we operate Gran Malecón with the viewpoint of making it economic viability and sustainable in time, but we don't do it alone. We do it as a cooperation and a synergy from the Barranquilla district through its many entities, like public service companies for lighting and public safety, the maintenance of the green areas from a local entity called Siembra, the Agency for Infrastructure District, but also cleaning services. And not only that, a very important role that we created especially for Gran Malecón that didn't exist is the guides, which are operator guides that are the face-to-face encounter guides with the visitors that help them with citizenship and accompany them throughout the experience. So this combines between the public sector, the local offices, but also a private sector in particular to maintain Gran Malecón. As a result, 430 direct jobs that day by day help maintain Gran Malecón, but also 4,000 indirect jobs as an employability factor with the many vendors that are located through Gran Malecón. Other results as our relation to our type of experience of the blue economy with the Magdalena River is that since pandemic, this turns to to a Gran Malecón that actually has a healthier effect on citizens. So 98% of our people that participate in our monthly surveys say that they feel that get more connected, get healthier to the river, and sunrise actually became a new time phase to visit Gran Malecón, because here in Barranquilla, we didn't used to get early as much, but since Gran Malecón became a connection during quarantine, we had a few hours just to do physical activity. Gran Malecón became a key point. And not only that, it still remains as a place for mental health and physical activity. Many events that remain and connect Gran Malecón to the culture and identity of Barranquilla. So not only did Gran Malecón learn from very important cities to have a waterfront as a development, but we did it in sort of our own way of generating cultural identity. This event was actually a few weeks ago. Really wanted to show you some fresh view on the Gran Malecón daily basis, but in our surveys, 9 out of 10 visitors enjoy an event completely for free. So since 2017, there has been more than 1,500 events and activities. This in particular is the interest from an international point of view, where Netflix chose Barranquilla as a city to launch Stranger Things season 4, and they choose Gran Malecón because of the vibe of the river and the island that was in front of it. And this had a massive response of over 100,000 people, just a regular Thursday on a weekday, having a huge response on the series that actually showed us that the city is really connected to the Gran Malecón and to the river in any ways, and not only in cultural, carnival, or what maybe our symbols represent. Also sporting events, the site and Gran Malecón and the road, the avenue that has been constructed has been very key for many sporting events, such as marathons and half marathons. And not only that, but the commercial standpoint and the economic growth development from Gran Malecón has been key into allowing many different businesses to open here. More than 50 food businesses that include the first river food market, but also a positive consumer surplus from visitors. So visitors, without not only having a really good public investment, actually help maintain Gran Malecón by having a beer, by having a lemonade, by having a sandwich right side by the river, maybe paying a parking lot spot. So that means that citizens, without even knowing it, are helping maintain Gran Malecón. Not only that, from all the 50 offers of vendors that are now working in Gran Malecón, of many restaurants, food markets, 45% are actually brands that were born in Gran Malecón. That means that were people that had the idea to open a business for the very first time as a restaurant, and they had the opportunity through a very open process to create their very first restaurant here in Gran Malecón. Not only that, but sustainable objectives are very important in the matter of creating different local markets and different economy opportunity spaces for many different keys and groups of public that can sell here and enrich their quality of life. There has been different fairs for crafts, for these sweets that are typical in our region throughout the year, and this helps maintain different groups of people that here come and participate in these different fairs. So, but by the end of it, this has been a boost of new urban development just by the riverfront and our interaction as a blue economy. But not only that, but a really investment and interest from every sort of entrepreneurs and sort of businesses. What started as a process that we had to convince many business administrators and vendors and to open here their first business in Gran Malecón is now today a huge waiting list of people that know the real value of Gran Malecón and waiting to open a business or different business ideas here by the riverfront. Obviously, Gran Malecón was thought as a very touristic hotspot for biodiversity, and this has been an important factor for Barranquilla because it has placed Barranquilla in a very new perspective from tourism. Now, not only that, the fact that Gran Malecón has a very nice and attractive view of the Magdalena River, but 8,000 passengers have been able to experience tourism, sustainability, and ecotourism, much like the case of this boat that you see on your right. The fishermen used to hunt clams in a very important island that is right in front of Gran Malecón, known as the Via Parque Isla Salamanca, with more than 56,000 acres, and they actually hunted clams. The European Union helped develop a new activity for them, and by giving them a new boat, they started doing this boat tours towards the Via Parque Isla Salamanca, and is now one of the most attractive activities for visitors and also citizens. Also, the ecosystem is something that the natural resources and the biodiversity of Barranquilla has been a great interest for the administration, becoming, in fact, one of the most important aspects of the development plan. This means that citizens and visitors that come to Gran Malecón have an immediate, meaningful connection with the ecosystem that it represents. Here, we also have had a great opportunity of discovering birding. We celebrate, for example, Global Big Days, something that people didn't used to do because of such a great contact that we have here through the different bird species that not only travel but migrate from many different countries. And a genuine bond with the biodiversity empowers citizens from the standpoint that not only new generations, but old generations and everyone connected to the very different species that are in the Gran Malecón can translate into innovative actions, innovative events, activities, besides a citizenship that just for a fact of being a visitor of Gran Malecón is already taking care of their different spaces, not littering, for example, using this creative plastic containers to save plastic. Vendors, for example, are encouraged not to use straws or not to use any sort of plastic. Private sector is encouraged to never use a flyer or brochures or something that can end up in the river. So a mindset of ecological commitment is always enforced in a very creative way for citizens and visitors. Also, from the start, it has been a project with social resilience because it has very important neighborhoods that were used to having the river right up front, communities that grew up with the river as fishermen communities, and the interaction with them has been such a key point for social inclusion. For example, the operating guides that work day by day in Gran Malecón, the majority of them come from the neighborhoods that were the community neighborhoods that live right beside us. So they don't take a bus, for example, to their work. They just walk and begin a process of learning, of hospitality, of tourism, safety, citizenship. Some of them are even learning English, and also environmental responsibility from the many different actors. So this training and education for us is absolutely constant for better quality of life in the people that work in Gran Malecón. So as a result, Gran Malecón has been recognized to be a place for social inclusion, a place that is not only attractive, but is vibrant. It's alive, and it has exceeded its expectations as a project that was only for the start was trying to get a design and a physical connection to the Magdalena River. Is now part of our identity, and it's now become a symbol, a daily symbol for Barranquilleros, and a gateway for new opportunities in tourism and culture. It's not only inclusive, but it also opens the doors for many cultural manifestations. It's absolutely pet friendly, and the community engagement that we develop, it's more further on to future generations that, like me, didn't have the problem of not seeing the river for so long, but they are born into seeing the river from very, very small ages. Schools that take Gran Malecón as their classroom on a week are some of the ways that make that Barranquilla grows next to the river through its identity. Not only that, but Gran Malecón has become part of the agenda of the city, being the official site of the Barranquilla's birthday celebration. Since we were not founded, we celebrate birthday since it was named Villa. And also the parade for our independence have found a great opportunity here in the avenue. Kite Festival, since it's so windy constantly. The Immigrant Festival that takes part into recognizing how Magdalena River was the entrance of many different cultures. And also New Year. It's the first time that the city of Barranquilla has a public space that invites people to celebrate New Year in a very absolutely open place without fireworks, considering that we have a huge ecosystem surrounded, but it's many different families in expected dates throughout the year. Not only that, but private sector opportunities and brand positioning as something that we have learned in the last 2 years, and how brands have been interested in being here in Gran Malecón, but they have to adapt to the ecosystem and to its relation to the Magdalena River. And not only that, Gran Malecón has not finalized its story yet. There is still one more phase to deliver next year. But the real question is, what can Blue Economy, not only for a public park, but what is the potential of the Gran Malecón towards the rest of the city? What about the part where there were the rest of the industries? And this is actually a picture that was taken a few weeks ago, and it's absolutely the milestone that Gran Malecón has pioneered in, and is the actual urban development throughout the rest of the city towards the riverfront. And that has been represented in its true value. So really grateful for this opportunity. And of course, if you need any more information, if you want to check out more stories, you can scan this QR code and you will find all the experience ahead.
Muchas gracias, Cristina. Tu presentación ha sido demasiado interesante, porque se trata de un proyecto de renovación urbana que, además de poner en valor los recursos naturales y marítimos del río Magdalena, también se ha construido por lo que comentaste y nos presentaste, se ha construido un sentido de pertenencia en la ciudadanía. Y yo creo que eso es un elemento muy importante de destacar. Hay algunos especialistas que señalan que una de las mejores formas de cuidar algo es utilizándolo, obviamente bajo ciertas, con respeto y bajo ciertas medidas que se permiten por parte de las autoridades. De esta forma, los habitantes se hacen parte del espacio que ya se generó entre el mar y la ciudad, y pueden realizar estas actividades económicas, deportivas, turísticas, económicas, culturales. Algo que me llamó la atención fue el mercado que se genera en este parque como una estrategia que detona crecimiento en una escala local. Y eso es algo que también pone en valor los recursos del mar, o sea, productos de mariscos, de todo eso. Sin duda es un gran proyecto y un gran referente que podría inspirar a otras ciudades en proyectos similares. Muchas gracias, Cristina. Finalmente, y regresando de nuevo a Europa, le quiero dar la bienvenida a nuestra última panelista, Theoni Panteli, quien hará su presentación Piraeus Blue Growth. Ella estudió gestión industrial y tecnología y cuenta con un posgrado en tecnoeconomía en administración de empresas.
I'm happy to meet you again, Jorge, even from a digital way. I'm also pleased to see what Genoa and Colombia has done without the action of blue economy and blue growth. We are also a city in Greece that has the main port and one of the most major European port. So sea and blue growth is a very, it's the major activity for us. What I'm going to show you is the milestone about the Piraeus Blue Growth. It was only on 2014 that a competition was take place and fourth month presentation and 9 teams from first evaluation stage was participating in this blue growth competition. This was so successful as idea that in 2017 we had this labeled as a good practice from ERBAC. It's a European program that has funded all this so that Piraeus be a lead partner of the network Blue Act that was the good practice of competition. What is very essential also about Piraeus is that we had our strategy, the Blue Growth strategy of Piraeus. It was a long-term strategy regarding Piraeus that is was a holistic approach about blue economy in Piraeus, what municipality had to do in order to foster blue growth. And we had this in order to was to be a path about our growth in 6 axes: infrastructure, education, services, marketing, and extravagation. How it is important for us is to see that all this, it was constant, and that we had now a degree of maturity for the action of the field of the blue economy. And we are very happy to have a very good synergy in local, national, and European level. One thing I want to say is that it's important to have this strategy about Piraeus because Piraeus is a city, decent city with a marine port, and has want to be a business and competitive relations hub about with also touristic aspect. What we want to also to do is to support sustainable growth in all sectors, so that we have a local economic ecosystem with innovative, competitive, realistic blue economy. What we have until now, it has to do with our actions about how we can all this be in action. The development is that all of this have steps to do so that be in this ecosystem. That ecosystem, it has to do with partners, sponsors, advisors, academia, so that they can develop their business in Piraeus. For the supporting this, we have a Blue Lab. It's a center that I want to show you later. Piraeus Center for Startups, the Blue Park, Education Program or Robotics, the Business Support Center, the Technology and Innovation Community of Blue Economy Piraeus, and the Blue Economy Cluster that all this works with the public, private, education, and community sector so that to stimulate the blue economy in Piraeus. I'm going to say that how it's important for us to have new people with innovative ideas is to say that the last competition would be in 2022. It was towards a sustainable blue economy to adopt the principle of green agreement. I want to also show you that the first it was two categories. It was under the business idea from students and under the startups of a sustainable firm. So both of them has to do with all these rules about the sustainability in order to tackle with the problems of the city. The first one was about the traffic tracking, and the second was about the combination by the use of special sensors. That is a picture to see that all this it was through our close cooperation with the University of Piraeus that we have here in our city. And to say how important this is that to have all this political commitment in order to be a dynamic blue growth ecosystem, just to be innovative entrepreneurships, and all this to be across Europe, because we had this chance to spread all this good practice around Europe in 2018 until 2021 in 7 European countries, and after at another network to be in also 3 European countries. All this is around 10 countries that all this good practice blue growth competition spread around. Through Blue Act, we had also actions that we communicate with people about the sustainability, and if we spread all this to our citizens and to the tourists that come here in Piraeus. We also have a main action that we want to push all the idea of blue growth sustainability in the secondary schools through educational robotics, so that we have focus how technology can help the activities of blue growth to be sustainability and environmental friendly. This is one from our center about entrepreneurship, innovation, blue growth that support all these ideas, because through those we had technological seminar with 3D design printing. We have hardware and software regarding the use of equipment to produce test products regarding blue economy, of course, because here is. And we have also educational programs for schools or students in order to be familiar with all this technology. The other center that it has to do with more mature businessman, it has to do the business support center of Piraeus that provide consulting services, and how all this implementation of blue growth strategy can be done better in order to, because it's true that every year is different, and we have different chances and different problems to face. The other business center that we have is Startup Piraeus, that is focused on startup, so that form about innovation and has acceleration programs and mentoring programs, incubator and hosting also a space. And what is can do is also how this can be at a networking and marketing for all these startups. Another activity that we have is knowledge innovation community with the cooperation of our university in Piraeus. How can transfer the output of innovators' results from research of university to real economy. And all this next to it is the service, the apps. It has to do with software and how digital technology can help to transform businesses in a real world that it's absolutely necessary in order to be in this new environment. This is what we want to do as a municipality. It's a Piraeus Blue Economy cluster that we have all these sectors, and from private, from academy, from citizens, and from other private organizations that all will work around blue economy, and how can what actions we can do in order to enhance this. This is what we have until now. It's that we are very proud that we have built an ecosystem of support of the blue economy. And now we have at the first step of blue economy cluster. What is also important is that all this is a constant process, that Piraeus has a seat in a demanding complex international environment. And what we do is to be in this environment and to give to our businesses and civilians here in Piraeus the best we can do. That is my presentation. And yes.
Muchas gracias, Theoni.
Okay, and what I want to say that it was focused for the business and innovations actions that we can do in order to support young people and not to do such a holistic approach about the strategy that we have about social actions and infrastructure and all the other components about Blue Growth strategy.
Muchas gracias, Theoni. Only for your information, you have the option to activate simultaneous translation in the options below. Ok, muchas gracias, Theoni. Ha sido un magnífico cierre de presentaciones. Sin lugar a dudas, la estrategia de largo plazo que ha estado impulsando Piraeus es un gran referente porque apunta a los temas que ya hemos conversado en este webinar. Por ejemplo, apoyar el crecimiento sustentable en el sector marítimo y portuario, aprovechando y poniendo en valor las tecnologías como aplicaciones y programas como Startup Piraeus, impulsar estratégicamente el ambiente económico local de la ciudad y desarrollar estrategias innovadoras, competitivas y resilientes, utilizando la economía azul como mecanismo de diversificación. Bien, ahora vamos a abrir el espacio de preguntas y respuestas. Hay algunas preguntas que ya participantes de la audiencia han hecho y quisiera hacer solamente un resumen. Hubo 3 preguntas para Olivia de Génova y una de ellas se preguntó que si se podía dar un ejemplo de modificar algún documento de planificación normativa en la ciudad, y Olivia respondió que desde Genova Blue District no se ha requerido ninguna modificación a estos documentos normativos. Y el proyecto intenta conectar e impulsar la cooperación entre los diferentes actores y empresas para impulsar el desarrollo sustentable en la ciudad. También hubo otra pregunta que si cómo se ha incorporado la participación ciudadana en la definición de proyectos del Distrito Azul de Génova. Y Olivia respondió que principalmente a través de eventos públicos y reuniones abiertas con la ciudadanía, pero también de llamados a propuestas para realizar, para permitir que estas iniciativas se financien por sí solas, considerando a diferentes startups, grupos de investigadores y universidades. También hubo una pregunta para Olivia, que si quién había donado el edificio del Centro Azul, y contestó que el edificio era propiedad del municipio y ahora están utilizando fondos del Programa de Operaciones Nacionales para impulsar eficiencia energética en el edificio. Esas fueron las preguntas para Olivia, que ya las respondió, pero hay otras 2 para Cristina de Barranquilla. Una de ellas es si ¿tienen análisis o estadísticas que identifiquen impactos económicos en la ciudad después de la construcción del Gran Malecón? Esa es la primera pregunta. No sé si Cristina...
¿Se responde por aquí o puedo escribirlo?
Puedes responderlo por aquí.
Listo, en español, ¿cierto?
Sí, no importa.
Existen, sí, anualmente se realizan monitoreos desde un punto de vista de generación de la sostenibilidad del Gran Malecón, es decir, cuántos son los generadores de ingresos, pero también se hizo un estudio económico de la universidad en el que se encontraba la disposición económica de parte de cada visitante, o sea, es decir, la rentabilidad en cuanto a cada visitante puede disponer en una visita, en una jornada de visitas, de disposición y de gastos económicos, que arrojó unos indicadores interesantes en cuanto a lo que era el Gran Malecón, no solamente desde su operación comercial, sino lo que implica en los movimientos de ciudad y de cadenas de valor para poder visitar. Voy a mandar un link a esa misma respuesta de la oficina de la gerencia de ciudad, que recientemente manejó un formato llamado Databar, en el que resume muy bien los últimos impactos del Gran Malecón en sus 4 años.
Perfecto.
Así como diferentes noticias que también pues, muestran un poco los indicadores a lo largo de los 4 años del Gran Malecón.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias por responder. La segunda pregunta, ¿cuáles fueron los principales desafíos en términos de sostenibilidad que surgieron durante el desarrollo del malecón? Por ejemplo, si hubo iniciativas en el diseño del proyecto inspiradas en las soluciones basadas en la naturaleza, en el desarrollo de alguno de esos espacios, o qué otras iniciativas se implementaron.
Se tuvo en cuenta el nivel siempre del canal del río Magdalena y la conexión permanente entre los cuerpos de agua. Se adapta de alguna manera que si hay ecosistema, el ecosistema tenga la prioridad de alguna manera libremente para las aves que encuentran incluso apoyo en alguna de las barandas. Todas las zonas de arborización que vuelven a ser hábitat de muchas de las especies como ardillas, iguanas, culebras, cangrejos, y no solo eso, sino que permite siempre tener desde el punto de vista del diseño una visibilidad de todo el entorno y ha logrado ser una experiencia en la que se ha logrado incluso identificar una problemática de quemas que se presentan en el Vía Parque Isla Salamanca, y el poder mantener todo abierto hacia la naturaleza ha permitido incluso tener estas alertas tempranas de esos incidentes que se presentan en la isla que queda al frente. Igual el Gran Malecón fue una gran enseñanza de construcción de solución de naturaleza que dio pie a proyectos de biodiversidad que son ahora la Ciénaga de Mallorquín, que es ese humedal que está entre el río Magdalena y el mar Caribe, que ahora no es un malecón, sino que se aprendió y sería un sendero, todo en madera, en palafito, para continuar esa experiencia de soluciones basadas en la naturaleza que dejó el Gran Malecón.
Perfecto. Yo tengo una pregunta justo para este caso. En mi opinión, siento que en Barranquilla se ha desarrollado un magnífico proyecto que sirve como plataforma para impulsar otras actividades. De alguna forma ya se generó este vínculo entre el mar y el territorio a través de este proyecto de espacio público donde se pueden desarrollar actividades recreativas, culturales, económicas y de alguna forma trasciende escalas. Por ejemplo, ya existe interés desde los propios habitantes de la ciudad, desde otros departamentos, supongo, de Colombia. Y también es una gran oportunidad para consolidar un turismo internacional, como un atractivo y un referente a nivel internacional. En este sentido, te quisiera preguntar si existen, considerando lo que se viene, si existen iniciativas que ayuden a mantener el equilibrio futuro entre las actividades que se desarrollan en torno al río y al mismo tiempo estar monitoreando el bienestar del río y su borde.
Lo que funciona el fenómeno del Gran Malecón es mucho más allá del espacio público y es algo que la administración, la ciudad de Barranquilla, tiene planteado hacia un proyecto que lo llaman Barranquilla 2100. Barranquilla 2100 es la visión futura de cómo la ciudad puede llegar a restaurar y conectarse con sus recursos naturales y las ventajas de los atributos de su ecosistema para poder seguir generando proyectos, no solo un Gran Malecón como un parque de espacio público, sino todo lo que puede llegar a ser ahora la ciudad río. O sea, es decir, todo ese desarrollo de paralelo en balance con el ecosistema de una manera que se puedan tener esos aprendizajes y cuidados para continuar la experiencia, pero también continuar el desarrollo de Barranquilla de una forma responsable, no acelerada y comprometida y entendiendo bien cómo son esos recursos naturales alrededor. Por eso el Gran Malecón fue un punto de partida, pero en realidad lo que se busca ahora es todo un gran desarrollo que se lleva hacia la visión de Barranquilla 2100, o sea, no pensar en periodos de administración, sino en ya 80 años, que se puede lograr, como se logró aquí con un barrio muy tradicional llamado el barrio El Prado, que fue la primera urbanización, sino esta urbanización y estos proyectos que desencadenen en conexión con esta economía azul.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias por tu respuesta, Cristina. Tengo una pregunta para Theoni de Piraeus y es de un participante en el webinar. ¿Qué rol pueden tomar las universidades en la construcción de un ecosistema Blue Economy?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, yes, what I can say that is very essential, the role of university, because it's the knowledge regarding the sector of blue economy, the sector of this that can be transferred to the business and to the citizens that are very important to be aware about the how important is the sustainability and the green effect regarding the activity of the people.
Ok, muchas gracias, Theoni. Una pregunta para Olivia. Considerando que la estrategia Blue Economy que ha impulsado Génova involucran a muchos actores clave, por ejemplo, académicos también, sector público, sector privado, pero ¿cuál ha sido la estrategia principal para involucrar realmente su participación en todo el proceso? ¿O qué estrategias han convencido de que es buena idea participar en el desarrollo de este Blue District Génova?
Yeah, I think mainly a huge work of stakeholder engagement. So many meetings with the main representatives from different kinds of stakeholders, associations or public entities, many meetings. I think at the beginning to push the start of the project, it was stakeholder engagement. But, you know, if in these cases, when the initiatives starts from the public entity, so it's top down, it helps a lot because you have a very good framework when you can act or manage and so on. So when there is a strong role from the public entity, it helped a lot. This is very useful. So yeah, stakeholder engagement from one side, and from the other side, the role from in this case, the municipality. But again, using, you know, networks that were somehow already existing. I mean, when you, for example, with the university or with the port authority or with other associations involving port actors, there were existing networks that we use to be successful in this project. And then with enterprises is the same, because our department works very closely with the enterprises. In the past, before establishing the Genova Blue District, we have some calls direct to startups. So we already met some of them, and you know, from this one, then other came, and so on. So yeah, it was top down, we can say, but also bottom up. Both of them played an important role in the starting of the project.
Muchas gracias, Cristina, por tu respuesta. No estoy seguro si entre ustedes, Cristina, Olivia y Theoni, tienen alguna pregunta para hacerse entre ustedes o algún comentario por agregar.
I found very interesting the project from Cristina, very, very interesting. So it really was a good ideas and many suggestions that will be useful in starting new projects in the future. So really thanks a lot.
I'm also thank you for your conversation.
From our experience, we always learn from your cases, so it has always been a pleasure, and welcome always to Barranquilla and to the Gran Malecón to also exchange many of your knowledge.
Okay, thank you very much.
We will come. Fingers crossed.
Yes, please.
Jorge is going to
Why
fix
not?
it.
Bueno, pues muchas gracias a todas. El objetivo de este webinar era precisamente explorar las diferentes perspectivas sobre el concepto de economía azul y reflexionar sobre la importancia de los mares y ríos y sus bordes costeros como plataforma para generar muchos beneficios en diferentes dimensiones. Yo creo que una de las principales conclusiones es que la economía azul es una herramienta para utilizar estratégicamente y conseguir distintos objetivos y fines, siempre y cuando se ponga en valor y se contribuya a la recuperación del medio ambiente y se compense en cierta medida la actividad o la presencia humana a través de soluciones de largo plazo. Y eso es precisamente una de las principales ventajas de utilizar estrategias Blue Economy. Para terminar, quiero agradecer a nuestras panelistas por compartir sus experiencias y conocimientos. Ha sido muy interesante escucharlas y conocer el estado en el que se encuentra este concepto en diferentes partes del mundo. Fue un placer moderar este webinar y contar con la presencia de participantes de muchas partes del mundo. Y los invitamos a seguir nuestras actividades del programa de IURC Latinoamérica a través de su página web y de redes sociales. Antes de despedirnos, les quisiera pedir de favor llenar una breve encuesta que les va a aparecer al salir del evento y también en un segundo correo se les compartirá las presentaciones que nos mostraron Cristina, Olivia y Theoni. Espero que coincidamos en una nueva oportunidad y muchas gracias de nuevo a todos por participar. Hasta luego.
Thank you. Goodbye.